Hi everybody, it's Mr. E and I'm here to make this video specifically for people who are just now getting into the mysticism regarding their own personal journey in hopes that they can avoid some of the dogma or some of the mistakes that I made. I recognized after watching a Gregory Scott video, he's a tarot reader that I like, that people really don't seem to have a very good grasp of any type of astrology, Western, sidereal, or Vedic, or the differences between them. There's also a whole New Age spiritualist and Wiccan, neo-pagan ritual magic around the moon cycles. Now, the lunar cycles have been studied, okay? Don't get mad that they do this to animals. You know, people have been doing way worse to each other for much longer. They took sea creatures, I believe, some type of mussel or clam, and kept them in tanks to see if they could still tell when the full moon was, which they could. So it wasn't just about the tide, and they've done this with different species as well. Then they bred those in captivity and took those tanks down in basements. So there was no possible way they could even get any light, moonlight, to create this rhythmic activity, and it still existed. So there is a natural rhythm which is generated by the moon, and it's very important to listen to your own cycle with the moon, because there's a whole lot of shoulds, coulds, woulds. Like, it really depends on the individual. So for me, after countless hours of researching, I can't even begin to tell you how privileged I am that I've had so much time to research the occult and astrology, magic and mysticism. I am very blessed in that regard, that I've had time to go down the rabbit hole and come back out and figure out, okay, this works for me, this doesn't. On a full moon, it's about releasing things that didn't come to fruition and honoring those and being grateful for the things that you did get. This is my belief. Now, many ancients and other spiritual leaders have come to the same conclusion, but not everyone has. And I see a lot of people taking their personal belief, like I just put mine out there, and saying that it's what everybody's rhythm should be, and this is the wrong way of thinking. There were people being called out as witches because they had a uterus and it would shed its lining under the light of the full moon. They would say that person was an enchantress or a Jezebel or a witch, because, you know, back then only she's had uteruses when this was happening, was having a red moon cycle instead of what was more acceptable, which would be the white moon cycle, which meant you shed your lining during the new moon. Sorry for people if this is just too graphic or beyond. You can find another video for sure. And men, or non-binary people such as myself, transgender people, honor that you have a hormonal cycle going on in you, whether or not it's marked by an extremely noticeable, undeniable physical manifestation. You just do. You have biorhythms. You sleep certain times, you eat certain times, you feel more active certain times, and if you look at these instead of from the Gregorian calendar system, which says, oh, it's Monday, so I feel like crap. You know, why? Why do we have this 7 days a week, very inaccurate solar calendar? I shouldn't say very, it's slightly inaccurate for the solar aspects. It just disregards so much else that's happening in the sky. So perhaps paying attention to your own inner guidance and acknowledging the rhythms of the moon in your life, rather than going out and searching for countless hours of what is the correct magical way to harness the moon's energy. You have the answer because it's personal to you. So for me, this full moon is about releasing the expectation of the things that I put in place for the new moon, on the new moon, about 2 weeks ago, that didn't happen. So I'm kind of clearing away, okay, why didn't that happen? And I'm also being grateful for the illumination of the things that did happen. If you think about people who are living without these, modern electric lights, the moon rises just at sunset, and it will illuminate the sky pretty much all night. And that has been happening more and more at the night, where the moon was already up when the sun goes down. However, beyond this day, the moon is going to sink below the horizon, so first the sun will set, there will be a period of darkness, and then the moon will come up. This, to me, marks like a period of not illumination, so confusion and not really gonna get my way. I'll be frustrated if I'm expecting the plans that I put in place for the new moon to come to fruition when we're actually dwindling down back to another new moon. I need to be celebrating and grateful for the things in my life which have endured and which have put my goals that I've set in place, furthered them, and brought me peace and love and light. So that's my little rant about lunar cycles